and welcome to another edition of the Cropland Genetics Agri-Solutions Crop Cam. I'm Mark Ullman, Seed Agronomy Advisor. Today I have with me Luke Grecke from Eastern Farmers Co-op and Scott Bowman. Today we want to talk a little bit about soybean aphid management. It's been an insect that's been around for a handful of years. We've used different products. We've had totally different years with that insect and Mother Nature throwing us different patterns. Spraying once, spraying up to 3 times, different times of infestations. So there's a lot of products on the market, premixes, organophosphates, pyrethroids. We want to kind of sort through that today. And I guess, Luke, in the organophosphate world, the Lohr's bands, if you will,
Yep.
What's some strengths and weaknesses you've seen over the years of that product?
One of probably the biggest strengths is going to be a really rapid or quick kill. As soon as you spray those aphids, it's not going to take probably 4 or 5 hours and they're going to be dead. One of the probably things that isn't as good about the organophosphate group is that you're not going to have as much residual, and you're not going to keep those aphids off. If they come back in a week, they're going to come back in and you're not going to have residual out there. Another strength of it would be spider mites. It's going to do a good job and get a pretty good kill on spider mites also.
Great. I think you're exactly on that. We got a 30-day pre-harvest interval with that, so we can spray that a little later than maybe a pyrethroid. But Scott, on pyrethroids, warrior-style products, good products too, been around a while. Strengths and weaknesses on them type of products.
Well, those type of products, the strong point, of course, is you have a little more residual. You can spray them, and they'll hold the aphids off for a lot longer. The weakness there, you're not going to control spider mites. So if spider mites is a problem, you're going to have to use a different product or spike it with another product.
That's right, and that pre-harvest interval is about 45 days. We've done a lot of pre-mixes over the last few years of the 2-style products as well. Got their strengths and weaknesses too. There's some new products on the industry. Tundra is a new style pyrethroid, if you will. Been out for a couple years, and the strengths and weaknesses of that basically takes the strengths of both products and puts it together. So we got the nice spider mite control with a 6-ounce rate of Tundra. And we get your help as far as residual, like Scott was mentioning, of a pyrethroid, so we actually get just as good, if not a longer residual with a product like Tundra. So kind of some new things to look at and mix up your chemical insecticide program for your aphids. So when we're spraying these aphids, guys, how are we going to get canopy deposition and penetration, Luke, to get some aphid control in the bottom half of the plant?
The biggest thing that you're going to need to know is you're going to need to get really good coverage, and you're going to need to have good droplet size to get that good canopy penetration, get those aphids killed under the bottom of the canopy. One product that we've had really good results with is a product called Interlock, and that is basically what Interlock does. It reduces drift, and it also gives you better coverage and better deposition out to the bottom of that soybean plant.
So what would be the recommended use rate of Interlock per acre just for spray deposition?
Most of the time we're running 2 ounces per acre for spray deposition. If you get in a situation where it's very windy out there and you want drift control, you're going to probably want to run 4 ounces per acre.
Great, great. So the other thing, especially with pyrethroids, is the sun is out. We can have some UV effects, especially on pyrethroids. Scott, a product like Preference or non-onyx surfactant, have you seen benefit to that?
Yeah, it seems like if we use the Preference, typically around a pint an acre, something like that, we will see better UV control. It doesn't degrade as fast, which means the product is there longer, which in return kills the bugs longer.
Great, great. So, as far as thresholds, guys, we're looking at when should we be out here. Maybe guys got to spray a second pass of glyphosate or whatever chemical program yet. If there's no aphids out here, should we be putting our aphid control with it, Luke?
No, we really need to spray our aphids when it's time to spray them and when they hit the economic threshold. We don't want to just throw it in there because it's convenient. That's not economic and not the best time to do it.
So a lot of guys have been using that aphid days. It's a good measurement, 250 aphids per plant. That all 250 aphids per plant kicks in at the reproductive stage, which we are now into well here for a handful of days. We're past the R1 stage, so that 250 aphid per plant is a threshold we can manage and work with, but keep in mind the aphids per day also. So as far as this goes, I think we've covered all the topics, Luke and Scott, and I really thank you guys for being here today. Luke, is there anything you want to add on behalf of Eastern?
I'd just like to give a little rundown on Eastern Farmers Co-op. We cover, our trade territory is southwest Minnesota and southeastern South Dakota. We've got 7 different agronomy locations across that area, and you can find the contact information and the agronomy salesman's phone numbers and managers' numbers on our website at easternfarmerscoop.com. If you'd like to find that information. We've got 15 sales agronomists across our company that cover our trade area, and their whole job is to be out working with the customers and to help those customers be more profitable. And so if you have any issues in any of your fields or need help with anything or any kind of service like that, that's what our agronomists are around for.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate your time today. And with that, we'll conclude another edition of the Cropland Genetics AgriSolutions Crop Cam. Thanks, Scott, and thank you, Luke. And make sure you check this out exclusively on 104.net. Have a great week.